welcome to this morning's BRCC webinar on Jobs of the Future. We are live on Facebook, so if you're watching us on Zoom, you may see who's in the audience. That's not everyone. Usually we find we have twice as many or 3 times as many people watching us on Facebook Live. So this morning is about jobs of the future, and hopefully we'll all have them in the future. Certainly it's changing. In my job, I'm Neil McGregor, the chairman of the chamber. My main job is as a lawyer, and as you can see, I'm working from home, as are all my colleagues, and we found it quite possible to work from home without too many difficulties. Now we have 3 speakers today, and rather than me telling you about them all, if you go into the chat box, and that is, I'll just put a note in to say here, right? I will type in here the web link to the page of the Chamber's website, which gives details of all our 3 speakers. We will have questions at the end. If you have questions in the meantime, please, if you're on Zoom, please type them in the chat box where I've just put the link to the website. It doesn't matter if they are in English or Romanian, so feel free to type in whatever language you feel. If you're watching us on Facebook Live, please put the questions there, and our colleagues in the chamber are also keeping an eye upon that. We'll have questions at the end of the presentations. Now, our first speaker is Danielle Nejefort, so I'll pass over to Daniela.
Thank you, Neil, for your nice presentation. So, and thank you very much to all of you who are now here. So, about me, very shortly, I'm working in human resources and executive search, vocational counseling, and personal development for 24 years. And during this time, we had a lot of changes. So I think that future of jobs is also in trend of different changes. So I will try to make to you a presentation regarding what it means, all this presentation. So, what do we need? First of all, when we would like to have our future, we have to make a list of what we would like to have. Would we like to have more money, a happy life, or a balance between professional life and private life? So what I would kindly ask you is to think about for your kids, or if we have here students, to make a list with what is most important in your life. What can I say from everybody experience I've met? To have a happy life, it's in fact to have a balance between professional life, private life, and if you want to earn enough money, make sure that you are choosing a job which you like very much. So how can we do this, and which are the steps? How can you choose your career? First of all, are your studies and technical skills. Here in technical, I'm not speaking about engineering. I'm speaking much more about IT and digitalization, which is now coming the #1 in soft skills required. Of course, you can have to choose your working environment, which suits with your values. You know that all the companies, multinationals, entrepreneurial corporations, each of them, they have their values. So practical, you have to make a match between your values and the company's values. And the fourth, which you have to take into consideration, is your competencies. In order to do this, you have to know which is the market looking for. You know that 2019 brought to us a huge change. But what happened? According to the McKinsey survey from June 2020, the tendencies of digitalization started already from 2018. The pandemic year didn't make anything else than to accelerate the trend. So practical, as you can see here in the middle, to 24 million jobs at risk of displacement or for automatizations are coming both from COVID, but also it was a trend before. So 51 million already in risk in 2018, 59 in 220, and in the middle you have 24 million jobs at risk, which didn't matter if the pandemic came or not, this was happening. So practical, therefore the pandemic is bringing nothing new. It is just accelerating the global trend of changing the jobs. How are the changing of the jobs? First of all, of course, working from home. Working from home is bringing practical digitalization, is bringing another type of communication, is verbal communication, video communication, and also written communication. So, according with McKinsey also, you can see here the types of industries which are at risk. As you can see, retail, as everybody knows that in 2020, the retail started to have damages. You know that most of us, we are using now phone orders to bring the food, the clothes, everything at home. Manufacturing also, the most companies starting to automatize all the equipment and all the productions line. Also construction decreased, especially due to the fact that the real estate for building decreased a lot. It remains constant, the highways, streets constructions, and home buildings, and transportation and storage as well. So practically you can see here per industry what type of jobs are at risk, and also you have to take care that this study is not regarding only 2020, it is the trend till 2023. So when you choose your career, please take a look on the jobs available, the trends of industry, and my advice is don't go now for a university, for example, where you go just because it's on top now. Just think about the future and of the trends. Also, McKinsey is making a study across Europe in which you can see potential. Here you have the opposite side of the other side, the other slide. Here are the jobs which are in the scenario of growing. STEM, it means science, technology, engineering, mathematics. So practical, on top of it is digitalizations. All the jobs which are necessary that the workforce has to know IT technologies. For example, now Zoom, Microsoft Teams, working on Excel, PowerPoint, it's on the top on all jobs. Also, you have to take into consideration here, for example, 3.9 is business and legal professionals, which is increasing. Health technicians, 2.9 is increasing, education workforce, managers, and creative arts and management. I was just speaking, by the way, during these days with some students, and they are interested in marketing. Be careful that the marketing will have quite a big change. Marketing will not mean what it means till now, just promotion, will be on social media and digital type of promoting. And also here with minus, you can see the job which are going down. So practical, please be aware when you choose your career about these trends of industries, and inside each industry, what jobs you can like and to do in the future. Also, regarding the recruitment trends, you know that all the companies, I'm representing an executive search company, and I have clients multinational for which I'm recruiting, but also the companies by themselves are recruiting. And what is the very most important, that all the companies are going for diversity. Diversity has become more important. The internationalizations of the companies. Working from home make it much more easier to work Romania, with Switzerland, with England, with everybody, with South Africa, with India. So there is no border stop for us in working. The networking is going very fast. So practically, if you can see here, the second more data-driven recruitment practices on second 47%, 37% recruitment automatization tools. You know Dora, which is a robot who is keeping interviews. So practical, even the human resources and recruitment are took over by robots. Recruitment marketing, you know that before many years ago, when you trying to find a job, you could find the job on the press, but now you go on social networking, LinkedIn and Facebook, social recruitment, Facebook and other types of social media. So practically, you have to make a study already on LinkedIn and Facebook to see which are the trends of the future jobs which are needed for industries all over Europe. Also, the most important now are becoming the soft skills. The soft skills is very, very important. It's 91%. So practically, when I'm looking for talents to recruit for my clients, the soft skills is #1 in the request of the companies. Flexibility of work, meaning you are disposed to work also from home, from the office, or to travel in other cities is very important. And what is more important is that anti-harassment and pay transparency, it's increasing. And it's increasing also in Romania quite a lot, which is very, very important. Now we have, as I said to you, it's very important to take care with what is needed by the labor market. So practically, it doesn't matter if we want to be lawyers, marketing or sales. We have to adapt ourselves to the market increase and also to the industry development. If before, for example, if you were a person who likes perfection, now perfection is not wanted anymore. Now what the clients are looking, or the companies are looking, is that you have to know how to solve problems, to have a critical thinking, to be innovative and creative. Ability to deal with complexity is 32% increase, and communication 31%. So practical visas are the most important values for which soft skills, for which a recruiter or a company is looking when they want to hire people. Also, regarding the soft skills, the basic cognitive skills are decreasing. You may ask yourself what is included here. Here is including the punctuality, for example, to not mix too much things, to not make mistakes, such other things. But it's increasing, for example, the higher cognitive, which means to be agile, to be resilient, is much more important than social and emotional skills, which means empathy and communication. So practical, we are going from, let's say, I will name it, even we're speaking about cognitive and soft skills, let's put it basic, something like hard skills, but we are looking now to really, really soft ones. So practical, this is a major input in Europe and United States. So practical, we, Romania, we are here in the middle, we are in Europe. So practical, all these requests from the clients and from the companies is impacting our industry quite a lot. What else I would like to say is I made here a list what is today essential soft skills and what is tomorrow. Tomorrow meaning that World Economic Forum consider it in this survey till 2023. So practical, you can see that technology is going on the 4th place for tomorrow, and also are getting out from today's list attention to detail, coordination, and time management. Why time management? As you all know, all the managers and everybody started work from home. To have a time management in the workshop, in a factory, or in an office, it's a total different with the time management which you have online. So practical, as you already know, even the European Commission started to think about a legislation how to coordinate the people working from home, and what is most important, how to deal with the time of managers and the employees to not get in burnout. Practical, the most people working now from home are working much harder, much more as hours. So it is really necessary legislation in which burnout to be take out from reality. What I will present to you is a very strange differentiation. You will see here how the market will change. For example, I took here from the study 21 human resourcing jobs of the future. And here you can see a development between 2020, in 5 years, 2025 and 2030. And here you can see a total different titles than you are used till now. For example, you can see in the first quarter here up, strategic human resources. For example, algorithm, human-based officer. So practical, all the definitions of human resourcing are changes, and all the human resources are going to be digitalized. So practical, you can see also here VR immersions. Yeah, so practical is virtual immersions counselor. So practical with all jobs, even we are thinking about, well, it's human resources. We have to deal, we have to communicate. We have to be face to face. Not really. So practical will be online. We'll have robots, we have tools, digitalization with whom we are coordinating our jobs. So practical, if you look, and if here are human resources persons will be great, because they can see the whole different titles of jobs compared with what we have now. Now we have compensation and benefits jobs, HR generalist, HR generalist, HR business partner. So practical, none of us is in 2030. How can I choose my company and also my job? All of us, we have basically, according with McKinsey, 9 important values which we are sharing in our lives. And this is how we can choose the company and the job. What we can do and what you can do, you can make a photo of this slide and then take for yourself 10 minutes and to see which one is defining you. So practical like this, you can choose the organizational culture in which you might fit the best. What I advise you to look is, as I said in the beginning, what is important for you is to be happy at work, to be able to focus on the task, to have a better communication in an environment which you like, and a better work-life balance. From my experience, I saw that the young generation is putting this up on their list, which is really, I'm happy, because the generations coming from 1989 and till 2000, they put in place on the first place changing the jobs. Why? Because at that moment, we didn't have such a variety of jobs, and we didn't have such a real and nice different industries and jobs. So practical, choose a job in which you are happy and have a better life-work balance. As I said, we are making also vocational counseling with young people. And these are few steps which you are using. So first of all, we want to know each other very well. Then we are applying a vocational test, which is standardized on the Romanian population. We analyze it. We are establishing your career strategy plan, and also the industrial field when you fit in the most. And of course, the different type of organizations. What is more important now, by 2022, all of us, young, old, doesn't matter the age, we have to add 101 days of learning. It means that we have to develop our analytical skills and innovation and creativity. All of us, doesn't matter of generation, we have to develop these skills to be in the market. So saying this about these challenges of the market, I would like to thank you very much for your participation. And of course, I'm looking forward for your questions. Thank you very much. I would like to introduce now my colleague of this panel, Mrs. Ana Maria Țâncu.
Hello, everybody. Thank you, Daniela. Just one moment to share my presentation with you. One moment, please. Can you see it? It's okay. Everybody seeing the presentation?
Yes.
Okay. First of all, few words about me. I am a dentist. I am a doctor. I'm practicing dentistry since 25 years ago. And I also teach at university. Now, at this moment, I'm associate professor at the complete denture department in my faculty. And also, since last year, I'm the Vice Dean for European and International Cooperation in our faculty. I'm very happy to share my experience today with you in this new digital environment in which all we had to adapt. As a doctor, as a dentist, but also as a teacher in the university, I will try in the next minutes to answer to this question. Is dentistry a good career for the future? Following a professional path as a dentist, you will have a career full of opportunities, but also full of rewards and challenges, especially in this COVID-19 pandemic that we all are in, as you know. It's a profession that has rapidly expands and also involves the latest technologies. And I will share with you about these technologies a little bit later. Why do people choose to be a dentist? In my opinion, the status and the professional recognitions come first. And then the others, like the fact that you are feeling very good as a professional when...
Sorry, Anna, sorry to interrupt. Could you possibly make this full screen so that everyone...
I will try, no.
Thank you so much.
I will try to do this, but just a moment. Just one moment. I think, just one moment to try. Okay. No, I think I have a little problem. I can't make it. It's a problem if it stays like this, because I can't find for the moment. Really, it's okay to be like this?
Yeah, it's fine. You can try F5, maybe Control F5.
Yes. So, so coming back, apart the status and professional recognition, you can see the end result faster comparing to other professions. And you can establish lifelong relationship with your patients and with your working team. Also, you will have an independent career and you will have a financial independence. I have to tell you, but it's not easy money. You have to work a lot to first of all, to finish the university studies, and then to your work. It's not an easy one. I think almost everybody knows this. Not in the end, a lot of people choose dentistry for the love of dental science. Which are the main steps you need to take to follow a dentistry degree career? First of all, you have to find out what dentists do. You have to decide if you have the right skills to practice this profession, because you need them. Then you can find out which are the best countries for a dentistry degree. How is the life of a dentistry degree student? For sure, it's an important issue. And you have to see how to get a bachelor and then a master's degree in dentistry. After finishing the undergraduate studies, you can specialize with a PhD in dentistry and finally get a job as a dentist. I have to tell you that dentistry is one of the top jobs around the world. For example, in the United States, dentists came in 100 best jobs tops at number 4, orthodontist in number 5, and oral and maxillofacial surgeon at number 9, along with other medical specialties. What's the situation in Europe? We have 345,000 dentists practicing in the European Union, according to Eurostat. We have around 13,000 students graduating from EU dental schools. For example, according to the data from 2013, Romania and other countries like France and the UK produce every year more than 1,000 dentistry graduates. How can you become a dentist in Romania? First of all, you have to finish the high school and then pass the entrance exam to the Faculty of Dental Medicine. I know almost everybody knows that this exam is not an easy one. You have to study very hard biology, chemistry, or physics. You have to complete the 6 years of dental school and then to obtain the license and certificate to legally practice this job in Romania. Very important thing is that due to the European recognition of our diplomas, we have a lot of graduates that practice with great success dentistry in other European countries. I think studying dentistry in Romania is a very good thing, of course, but studying in the Faculty of Dental Medicine in Carol Davila University of Medicine and Pharmacy in Bucharest, Romania is better. Why? Because it's the most prestigious Romanian medical school. It's now positioning 150-200 in the academic ranking of World University, better known as Top Shanghai, in a clinical medicine subject in 2020. Why should somebody choose to study dental medicine in our faculty? Because we offer the opportunity to study in a very high competitive academic environment. Now digitization is part of our academic life, from enrollment to the e-learning platforms to the digital library which offers virtual access to the most important medical databases, international journals, and ebooks. Also, our students can participate to the most important scientific events organized by our university and the most important international events and medical congresses around the world. Also, our faculty offers an international mobility for the students and teachers. We have an association, the Bucharest Dental Students Association in Romania, Liga Studenților la Medicină Dentară, with, you see, 175 members that have a lot of projects every year, more than 25. This association offers national and international connections for its members. For example, they have connections with the European Dental Students Association and with the International Association of Dental Students, which organized every year many events for the young students. Our faculty offers also international exchanges programs, part of the Erasmus Plus program. It's an Erasmus program for study, 1 or 2 semesters in an Erasmus partner university, and also the Erasmus traineeship. During the summer holiday, students can participate in activities in private practices, in hospitals, in research centers. We have news for the next academic years, and the most important one is that we will have a new building. You can see an image of it here on the right. And also another important news is that we will have the very expected undergraduate program in English. I can tell you that we receive a lot of emails and requests from young people around the world who want to study dental medicine in our faculty, and also they want to study PhD studies or masters. The undergraduate program has 5 years, then you can choose. You can work as a dentist in a private practice, either individual or in association, or follow the residency program. It's a postgraduate program after an entrance exam for 3 to 5 years. And you can become a specialist. You can see here the specialties that are now in Romania. Or you can follow a PhD program in our university or master programs in dentistry in other universities. The dental education has very interesting things for the future. And you can see here not only the phantom heads that we know already, but also the VR, the virtual reality that is used in dental training, and also the patient robots. So the technology is involved in the future of dental education too. There are very interesting aspects in practicing dentistry today. Because there are very new developed dental techniques, materials and devices that made the treatment and the follow-up easier than in the past. Many concepts in our field are digitized, and numerous technologies are present in every area of dentistry. So the treatment is easier, faster, and often better than in the past, especially, of course, for the patient. There are a lot of challenges for our profession during the COVID-19 pandemic, not only for the doctors, for the patients, but also for our dental students. I will present you shortly some new technologies that will shape the future in dentistry, from CAD/CAM technology and 3D printing to virtual reality, biotechnology, genomics, and biotechnology. Digital dentistry is about many concepts. Some of them you can see in on this slide, like accessibility, comfort, communication, quality, productivity, and accuracy. For example, computer-aided design and computer-aided manufacture has a lot of benefits in dentistry for dental professionals and for the patients. Only a few examples. The single visit treatment. With this technology, we can complete the steps of our work in 1 day. There are fewer disruptions in our schedule, and the patients come for 1 single visit, for example. The digital impressions, we have now the possibility to scan an impression with an intraoral scanner or to use an extraoral scanner, which is like a waving magic wand. It's different than the classical impression that probably everybody of you have in the past. CAD/CAM technology also is a cost effectiveness technique. I can show you only some pictures about the intraoral and extraoral scanner. Of course, these are special, these are, let's say, for us, for the doctors, very interesting, but I want to show you the intraoral scan and how it looks. It's the tool with which we take the impression. This is how an intraoral impression looks. You can see here on the screen and also here. We send the data from the impression to the milling machine, and we obtain through the milling process, as you can see in these images, for example, prosthetic restorations in a very short time. And also I can tell you that we can take the impression in Bucharest and mill the prosthetic rehabilitation, let's say in Milan, for an example. So technology is very used in this field. 3D printing now is very used in dentistry. We print models, we print provisional crowns, we print dentures, we print splints, individual trays, and surgical guides. So a lot of devices that we need in our day-to-day work. Here you can see 3D dental printer, the materials that we are used for 3D printing, and also some dental provisional crowns. I can tell you, this is, in my opinion, for sure, that digital technology is wonderful. We use it every day, but it can't replace the presence of humans in the medical and in the dental field too. This regarding the interaction that we have with the patients, the empathy, the communication with it. Also, it can't replace the medical, the dental thinking. And also the health policies. So the doctor, the dentist and his team, of course, they have to use technology and to have it under control for the maximum patient benefits in order to prescribe and apply an individualized treatment for his patient. For conclusions,
hello, my name is Flavius Constanța, and I'm a fourth-year dental student.
Just a moment. In the end, as conclusions, I will show you a very short movie. Is done by one of the wonderful students that we have. It's Flavius, and now I share the movie.
At Carol Davila University of Medicine and Pharmacy, and the president of the Romanian Dental Students Federation. Today, I'm going to answer one question. Is dentistry part of the jobs of the future? Well, let's see. The world is constantly changing and evolving, and all the professions have to adapt and embrace the digital era that we live in, and dentistry makes no exception. Our job is to keep up with the technological advance and try to include it as much as possible in our day-by-day treatments, and not to be afraid of it, because as all of us know, technology makes our lives easier day by day without even knowing it. You can design a tooth crown using artificial intelligence or 3D printing for the old-fashioned cast models. But can be dentists replaced by robots? I don't think so. This profession is all about empathy, critical analysis, human interaction, and creativity. Nevertheless, after graduating from university, you have a lot of possibilities. Be part of a health committee or working into research, or one of the most rewarding things you can do after finishing your studies is becoming a lecturer and forming the future generations of dentists. All of this taken into consideration, dentistry definitely has its own place in the jobs of the future.
So thank you very much. This was my presentation. I would like to thank to the BRCC for inviting me today as a speaker in this event. I would like Flavius, as the representative of the Association of Dental Students in Bucharest. And also I would like to thank Professor Andreea Didilescu, our Dean, the Dean of our faculty, for all her support. Thank you for your attention. And of course, I wait for your questions. Mona, please.
Thank you. Yes. So now I can share my presentation. So before I do that, I really thank you for your invitation, because in the field we are today, it's a very, very important, it's a really, really crucial question to put. So before I start my presentation, let me tell you a few words about me. I am Mona Opran. I worked for 20 years in marketing and communication, and I'm a business development specialist. I used to be an employer and in advertising and communication. Also, I need to say that the talent management in our organization and in many in our industry, talent management is at the level of C-level, and it was a priority for management. Now I joined the Junior Achievement, which is the largest NGO focused on education in Romania and in Europe, and in top 7 most appreciated organizations in the world. So you will see that we are in a very privileged place, like a central point between employers and schools and educators, and talking about the jobs of the future, I think will require also to talk about the skills that we build for the future professionals, right? So a few words about the organization. As I said, page down, why doesn't it work? Ah, right, it's here. Okay, so as I said, Junior Achievement is a very large organization, and you will see when I say large, it's also it's about reach, but it's also about the impact, because we talk about entrepreneurial skills and work readiness programs where we bring business communities directly in the schools. And in the world, I think there are about 12.5 million students every year. In Romania, you see the map with all the dots, that's everywhere, all the schools that are enrolled in Junior Achievement programs. We reach more than 180,000 students every year. And that's a lot. I mean, as I said, we are in a very privileged place to really understand what is needed, what is happening in schools today, and what are the needs and expectations, not only of the students, but also of the educators, right? And moreover, of the businesses who will be hiring or working with these future professionals, right? So because we do this for 27 years already in Romania, I selected 3 key points to raise today. One, which I love to say that we are really in sync with Daniela, are almost the same presentation that Daniela has, which is, I think it's a very good sign, because right, we see it, we see the same thing, only we see it from the angle of how do we prepare our students for it. So we talk about the skills of the future. Second is, how do we integrate the education system in the working in the real world? Yeah, the education system cannot float like that. And I think what Ana Maria said is a wonderful example of how you bring technology in university, in the learning process, but it's not happening everywhere and in every discipline. And the third is, what is the role of educators if soft skills are becoming critical? Are our educators ready to be or to become mentors for change and for embracing and learning soft skills? Yeah, because they are rare on the front line, right? So going further, we have some Oxford Economics and PISA studies. We look at them all the time. So there are 3 main areas, and I will not stay too long on them because I don't want to repeat what Daniela said. But first and foremost is digital skills. And again, I'm not talking about coding. It's not about the ability or the possibility to write a code, although in some classes you already started to learn that. But I'm talking about the overall basic understanding and knowledge of how digital impacts almost every aspect of our life. How do we connect? How do we do business? What is data? So digital, or let's say somebody just said recently, data is so important. data is not important. Data is the business today. Yeah, so that it's a totally different view. So companies that will hire tomorrow, they expect young professionals to understand systems, software, licenses, IT, digital design, understanding how to use social media very safely. So you trust the knowledge there. You can differentiate from fake news. You understand how to analyze information. Yeah, all these are absolutely vital for any future employee. And again, I think Ana Maria's example is very good. I'm imagining the learning process when you put technology in dentistry is wonderful. But can you imagine if you have students who are already digital savvy and now they explore only the medical part, right? So they are ready to work with machines and understand what's going on there once you press a button. So the second big bulk of the skills mandatory for the future are agile and critical thinking skills. And again, Daniela was talking about to be resilient. So, right, so I go through school and I leave home and I get my first job and now I'm resilient. Yeah, can it work like that? Probably not. Resilience is something you learn, isn't it? And then it's something that you have to try and fail and try again and fail again and learn from your mistakes and really be ready to embrace everything that is coming towards you. So going further into agile and critical things, critical thinking is, okay, you need to understand the big picture. You need to understand, yeah, I love this phrase, managing paradoxes. Yeah, we talk about automation. We talk about the big change that is going to happen. So yes, you know, everything in retail. Yeah, it was another example with customer care. Customer care will go down because everybody's online. Not really. Everybody was online and now everybody goes back into shopping malls and into human interaction. So the job of a customer interaction becomes much more difficult because it's a hybrid world. Or in healthcare, you know, they're hiring people from hospitality because the care of a patient is almost like a care of a guest of a hotel. Yeah, instead of probably a glass of wine, you serve them on remene. But you know, but it's about understanding. It's about the soft skills that we're talking about, right? Also innovation. Innovation goes across all disciplines and is very democratic. Everybody can do it, but how do you do it? It needs to be based on a strategy. Strategy means you break the market, you disrupt the market. And you need to understand these concepts in order to develop your abilities. And of course, the third part are all the soft skills that we talk about, interpersonal communication things. You need to cooperate. You need to co-create. Do you know what's happening when you co-create? Your ego steps in. No, it was my idea, but I built on your idea. But yeah, but I started it. Yeah, I should be the one to take the credit. And it should not matter. You should be able to listen, to build upon it, to work in teams, to understand different cultures, to share, right? To team up, to collaborate. It's very difficult if you don't have this experience, if you don't do it at home, if you don't do it in school, and if you don't accept that sometimes it takes more people to build something, and in teams you work better than alone. My problem or our problem is that none of these skills are taught in school today in a systemic way from this first grade to university. None of them. So we're almost like preparing our kids to fail in this future of jobs. Okay, I don't want to be over dramatic, but my point is that there is a big gap that is growing and growing, right? The second thing that I was looking was the traits that there are 9 traits of the future company, and it's a study from McKinsey. One is really much about the culture and the purpose. So again, you have to be ready to understand that company culture is it's a desire of a behavior, and it's not just words. Yeah, right, we have to have a culture and yeah, whatever. Okay. Second is how we operate. And the words like radically flat. What does it mean, radically flat? It means we don't have a hierarchy of bosses, but we really encourage independency and autonomy. And that's wonderful. Everybody wants to be autonomous and nobody wants to have too many bosses. But again, that comes with responsibility, isn't it? So again, you're autonomous, so, but can you do it, right? And then you're facing there and you're alone or with a team, and you have to roll up your sleeves and try and learn by trying. Also, the second, again, I'm a fan of words, as you already noticed. We turbocharge decision-making. Awesome, turbocharge decision-making, it means I have to think fast. Because if I don't think fast, the others will think faster before me. Or guess what? The robot will think faster than me. And it's not only about thinking fast, is what we think. Robots will think faster than us. There is no doubt the computer can think faster. But the question is, who and how fast can you analyze the conclusions that the machine will put on a table for you? Yeah. And we go back to critical thinking, putting data together, and how our mind can then draw a conclusion and act upon that conclusion. And how do we grow? We embrace ecosystem. Data is everybody's business, and we accelerate learning. I'm not going to dwell into that. I think they're self-explanatory. And again, I go back to the issue. None of the above are taught in school. Yeah. And okay, I'm just saying it's again, I'm not dramatic, because for example, what we do for 27 years now is that we try to fill this gap, and our learning methods are learning by doing. So we experience, and we invite business professionals to always come in and share from their experience, do experiences with our students, encourage them to work in teams, to ask questions, to try and fail. So we have business incubators, we have job incubators, we have job shadows, we have practice possibilities to just go out and try. Yeah. My personal desire would be that it's not only an NGO who would do that, but then we will raise it to a level of the whole school, and the whole curricula will actually embrace this new needed knowledge as well. Also, as I said, that the abilities we don't learn is about the change. And change management maybe sounds too dry for what I want to say. I want to go deeper into talking about also major change. There are studies who show, and again, I'm a mother of three, even my daughter, 3 daughters, yeah? So even those 3 girls think that they're too small or too far away for them to matter. Big changes like automation and artificial intelligence and global warming, and the kids need to be encouraged to understand the change, big or small, and then to see what their role can be. There are also smaller changes. Yeah, you get a management who will stay in front of the team saying, okay, starting tomorrow, we will not have this department anymore, because we will externalize it to Serbia, where we build a South European hub. Yeah. Okay, so then what do I do? Well, you will keep your job. It's just that you will not do publishing anymore. You will have to coordinate all the countries that will do publishing. You can do it. Yeah. It's a totally different job, totally different skills. We need to learn our students to love change, if I can say so. Yeah. To not be scared about it, at least. Because the change is friction, is painful. So the readier you are, the better you will be. So somehow our principles are based on that saying that it takes a village to raise a child. Yeah, well, it takes a whole, a more complex system to educate our young people. You need the teachers to be mentors for change. You need schools to be a safe place, businesses to be co-creators of content. Yeah, and then you need entrepreneurship. We do build a lot of entrepreneurial experiences, because the mindset of an entrepreneur is very much of the future mindset of any employee, whether if it's intrapreneur or entrepreneur, yeah, a future professional. So, but on top of that, we need also the administration and the workforce to be able to absorb of, you know, all these future wonderful kids, right? It's a lot of work. I do hope that with, you know, your help at the British Chamber of Commerce and other colleague of yours at AmCham or other chambers of commerces, and maybe with city halls, with local city halls or other, you know, administration, we can work together into helping teachers teach soft skills and change, and then helping kids to get absorbed in the businesses better and faster, and also to involve businesses as, you know, fresh fresh suppliers of content that is relevant for the kids today. So this is pretty much, that's my view on the jobs of tomorrow. It's not, we're not looking at easy fixes, because education is a long-term investment. For some people, too long. Yeah, I just want to say that we are an NGO, so we base every action, we base it on partners. So we need partners to see long-term. But I'm happy to see that what we as a study, what we look in studies and what we see in schools is very much in sync with HR views. And yeah, like Ana Maria, future, also an educator, but a, you know, representative of future employers in healthcare. We are in the same page. Now the question is, how do we do it, right? Yeah, so these are my slides. It's more of a conversation that I'm looking for. So you, Neil, please take the lead and see what type of questions we have and how can we answer.
Thank you very much indeed to one and all our speakers. I could say that we now have 150 people watching us on Facebook Live. I can't think of a more well-attended event we've had on Facebook than this particular one, plus those who are here. So very well done to you all, and welcome to all those who are watching. I'd like to put in the chat box. There are some questions there, you'll see. But I'd like to mention that we have, through the Chamber, for jobs, we have the Talent Academy, and you'll find the connections there to that on the Chamber. And we also are working very closely with people in the education system, because members of businesses need to have suitable employees for the future. So it's very important that the Chamber members, the educators, to help them advise students what they need to know to be good employees for the future. You can see we also have some members online from the school system and who do take part in our working group on education. The first question, I think, is from Camelia Platt. You can see that in the chat box. Who would like to answer that? I think it's actually addressed to Ana Maria.
Yes, I have seen the question. It's a very interesting one. For the moment, we don't have in our university such programs, but for sure that they are very interesting, and I will speak with my colleagues about this idea, and maybe we can take in consideration to develop such programs. These programs are for the medical school, not for the faculty of dental medicine. But as I'm a part of the university, I will try to find out if we can take in consideration such programs for the future.
Thank you. And there's a second question from Cami to all of you. This is a very important issue, particularly that's shown up through working online as we're doing now, as to how we can bring changes into the curriculum for Romania, and what do you see about people with disabilities becoming professionals in an inclusive and diverse society?
If you can allow me, I can start. I think there are, thank you. I think there are two questions in one, to be honest, because to work together to bring these changes, changing, I presume, is about the much needed skills that are looked for, you know, the soft skills and the digital that Daniela and actually all of us talked about. All the NGOs today, at least all the big established ones, are working together with the government to see the future curricula. We are asked as advisors to talk about the entrepreneurship and the soft skills that are needed. So I think this is one beautiful change. The second one, which I think it's in for everyone, and if you believe in it, just become an ambassador of it, and as we all are, invite businesses to get involved in the education. Because it doesn't matter how strong a country is, not all, in every country, even the most spectacular country from the educational point of view, you need to bring businesses in the schools, because businesses know the real world in real time, and they bring case studies and experiences. So our system eventually will catch up. Yeah, it's our system. We love it and hate it in the same time. Doesn't matter. It's trying to do better. But in the same time, we have to bring the workforce in the schools in parallel. So I think what we can do, just become ambassadors of it. In terms of disabilities, in my opinion, it's a matter of mindset. We have this, as far as I know, we have the legislation to allow everybody to feel welcome in school. Now it's a matter of mentality, in my opinion, that needs to be changed. Maybe Daniela or Ana Maria, if you want to take over on this point.
So I think regarding, I saw also here 2 questions from Diana regarding a lot of education and how can we fit to the company values when very few companies in Romania have values. So from my point of view, we can be a partner together with British Romanian Chamber, as Mona said, and we can change the mindset. I think it's very important to take into consideration and to consider 2020 not a very bad year. We have to take the positive part. 2020, it was a year of change. Everybody, all the cultures, all the industries, everybody had to reset their type of working. So till now, I always said, Romania never had a plan of job necessity or industries to know exactly what will be, which will be the development in Romania, what type of jobs we will need in the future. I think we have to thank God for this pandemic, because we can take it from zero, as all the other countries, developed or not developed, started with 2020. We had the chance that Romanians are very good in digitalization. So practical, we have to change the mindset just in terms of how to work together, how to develop, exactly what Mona said, resilience has to be developed. Soft skills, some of them, we have them natural. For example, we can bring our company, we have the tests which are licensed on the Romanian population regarding the vocational, natural field of young generation. So we can start from their natural soft skills and we can develop on this, we can build on this. What is very important for us is not to see that the companies, they do not have. It's important that all the young managers which are coming into a company, into a multinational, to develop their teams and to develop the young generation in order to obtain all these results. I think, as I said before, it's the time, it's the actual, that T0. So we have to take it from here and to add step by step every soft skills, every necessity which we have. The values, we can never say the value of the company is total equal with the total values which personal we have. But we have to match somehow these values. Exactly as I said, we have to have a balance between private life and professional life. And we can do this together with companies right now because we have the chance to work from home, to divide the time as the employees want. So practical, the flexibility from my point of view is the main important thing which has to be understood by the companies.
Can I intervene?
Yes.
Please.
Thank you. I just want to say to Diana that these are very, very good questions, but I just want to make an amendment that company culture, it is there. It might not be phrased and put up on a website, but what does culture mean? Is the way we do things, yeah? So there must be a way the company does things, yeah? Whether you like it or not, whether you embrace it or not, is there. It's like the laws of physics. Every void is filled. If you don't fill it, somebody will fill it, yeah? So it's the same, you know, and about the change, because you put there change is, we are reticent as a, well, change is happening. Yeah, change is here, whether you like it or not. But change can be taught in school. You learn, you fail, it's painful, you stand up, and then you do it again. Yeah, and what can you do, Diana, or what can any of us can do as individuals? You can have your own behavior that embraces change, and you can have your own behavior in the company. And if you don't like it, then that company will just lose an amazing professional, because you will go into another company who respects the same things that you respect. Yeah. And then it becomes a behavior of that company, and then behavior becomes culture, right? So I would invite you to be a bit more optimistic if possible, because each of us can make a difference. It sounds like a cliche, but it's real, you know? And then eventually you will raise your kids in a way, or you will mentor some wonderful young people, and then your beliefs will go further. And that's the way to do it, in parallel with the big education system or big corporations cultures.
And also we have to take into consideration that not each person is fitting to each company. So practically we have to find our place into an organization. As I showed into my presentation, there are some values which we have. Also the companies have different values. For example, if I want to be right, yeah, okay, so I am for justice. Maybe you cannot be a lawyer because you have to sustain also criminals, I don't know, but you can go in a department of legal in a company, and there you will fit your value. This is just a very extreme example, but you have to find a place where you share your values. And like this, being with your colleagues, you can develop your values, and also the company will develop their values.
Thank you very much. There are quite a number of comments in the question and answer box from Diana. And there are also some questions from Florine, I think, in the chat box. Have you all seen those? Would you like to comment upon those?
Yes, the companies, Florin, are embracing the digitalizations and changing of mindset. They are working right now. Most of companies, as far as I know, even the managers, the entry levels, they are going through digitalization and changing of mindset. And I can tell you why, on the simple reason that also managers now are in the positions in which they have to change their way of management. So as I said, yes, it's ongoing right now. We cannot expect to be ready in 6 months or 1 year. We have to take into consideration that it was a very dramatic change in 1 year, and everybody has to put in place even the technology, and they have to invest in technology. So yes, practical, I think at the end of this year, we will see a lot of cultural change in digitalization type. And also, I do hope that the European Union, as they said, they will make that legislation against burnout, because working from home proved to be a much has proven to have a much more involvement in burnout. We have to have working from home some time for relax and also some breaks. So yes, if we succeed to have all this in place at the end of the year, I think next year we will see a year when also industries, companies, and people had a change in mindset. I hope I answered to your question.
Would anyone like to make any comments on any of our questions in the chat box? We now have, by the way, 160 people with us on Facebook Live. While you're thinking, can I just mention the point raised by Camelia about bringing UK experts? And of course, the move online as we are now means that we can get people in the UK and in other countries as well to speak to all the members of the chamber on this platform without bringing them physically to Romania, which is a very good thing, I think. We're going to need to close fairly soon. So if there are any other questions or comments, could we please have them? So I think that we probably ought to call it a day. We've gone over time. We're a quarter of an hour over time. So it's been a very interesting presentation. And thank you to all of our speakers. I've never seen quite such a well-attended event as this one on Facebook Live. So thank you all very much indeed. I'd like to thank Madalina, Anna and Stefan from the Chamber for setting up this event. It's been a very good one, I think. Anna, I'd like to talk about our next event. And I think there's also some news about Romania Insider you might want to mention as well.
Yes, thank you, Neil. First of all, I would like to thank again our panelists for the very comprehensive and informative session today. The feedback is great so far, so thank you again very much for your intervention. And yes, we would like to let you know that we also support a lot education, and we would like to have students studying in the UK come back in Romania. This is why we have launched a job portal last year, where we let people see what jobs are already available on the Romanian job market, internships, and so on. And yes, we do have a partnership with the Romanian Insider. They do help us in promoting and supporting this initiative. So thank you very much for that. Regarding our upcoming events, we're very active in the online, of course, because unfortunately we're still not able to have face-to-face events. But we do have very interactive and interesting seminars coming up. Next week, we will learn more about trust in the workplace. We will learn how the trust level between employees and managers help make an organization very successful. And also we'll have a very interesting webinar on doing business in Romania. Our second from the series started last year. I will also copy paste here the link to our event page where you can check our event and sign up if you're interested. Thank you very much again and have a lovely rest of the day.
Thank you all. Again, thank you again to our speakers. Congratulations on keeping our audience so well. I wish you all a very good rest of the day, and Senator Timwood, have a good day.
Thank you. Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Have a good day.
Thank you.